In Conversation with Terry Shepard, award-winning broadcaster, narrator, and author. A deep dive into the writer's craft with the artists and support systems who create the stories we love.
It is launch day for one of the most anticipated books of the year. Stephen G. Eoannou, who gave us the addicting thriller Rook, has imagined the Buffalo, New York incarnation of the legendary Fran Striker, the man who would create the iconic Lone Ranger on Detroit's WXYZ. It's 1930s Buffalo and the Great Depression rages. A young playwright needs to create a pilot for a new radio show. But first he must overcome writer's block, defeat a curse, foil a plot to assassinate FDR, and recover stolen diamond rings belonging to an alcoholic boxing champion. Steve Eoannou, welcome. Happy launch day for Yesteryear.
Oh, thank you. And it's great to be on the air with you, and it's great to finally launch Yesteryear.
Give us a little bit more of a 411 than I did on the story, so those who order it today will know what they're getting.
Yesteryear is based on the story of Fran Striker, like you said. He was a struggling playwright, and he was basically selling scripts, radio scripts, to George W. Trendle from WXYZ in Detroit on kind of an ad hoc basis. Trendle was buying 2 or 3 scripts a week for like anywhere between $2 and $6 a script. And then towards the end of the year of 1932, Trendle asked Striker if he could come up with a Western. And he wanted all the usual hokum, gunfights, girl tied to railroad tracks, masked men. And Striker repurposed a script that he wrote 2 years earlier, and he came up with the Lone Ranger with some input from Trendle and the creative staff at WXYZ.
Yesteryear pulls just about every exciting plot device I could think of from the 1930s out of the hat. But it's based in part on a controversial true story.
There is a lot of stuff going on, like you mentioned. The curse, the boxers, the lost rings, FDR makes an appearance. But the basic premise and the basic plot line of Striker coming up with this character and then having the premiere in Buffalo as a test run before it moved to Detroit is absolutely true. How he came up with the idea for the Lone Ranger is my imagination taking over. So it was a lot of fun to research and a lot of fun to write.
So it's launch day. What are the early reviews saying about Yesteryear?
Well, I'm happy to say that everyone's finding it a fun book, a fun read, which was really one of my goals with this novel. And to the person, they said they never knew the backstory of the Lone Ranger or of Fran Striker before. So I was really pleased that Fran's kind of getting back into the conversation. I'm looking forward to more people reading and leaving reviews on Amazon and Goodreads, and then giving me feedback through my website as well about how they hopefully enjoyed reading Yesteryear.
How will you be celebrating the launch in Buffalo today?
Yeah, tonight I'm going to be at a funky little bar on the west side of town called the Gypsy Parlor. For your Buffalo listeners, if they don't know, it's at 376 Grant Street. It's probably in one of the most diverse neighborhoods in the city, and their menu reflects it. So they got this funky menu of, Latino food and North African food, and it's just a really great menu. They've got vintage pictures of gypsies and tarot cards, and usually there's a tarot card reader there. And we'll be in the back room. There's a stage. The author and editor and translator, Kyle Semmel, who actually edited my short story collection, Muscle Cars, will be in conversation. So Kyle will be asking me questions. I'll read a little bit, and then we'll open it to questions from the audience. And Talking Leaves, which is an independent bookstore here in Buffalo, will be selling books. And I'll be happy to sign anybody's book. And there'll be cake.
Stephen G. Eoannou wrote Yesteryear. It is available starting today on Amazon and everywhere really cool books are sold. Steve, thanks for joining us.
Oh, thank you so much for having me today.
In Conversation with Terry Shepard is a copyrighted presentation. All rights reserved. I'm Lisa Davis. Join Terry Shepard next time in Conversation.